Thank you. There we go. Hello, can you hear me? Thank you about the mute. Hey! Is it streaming okay? I don't know if my internet can actually handle the bandwidth for having the face cam here. Yes, sorry, I forgot to turn off the mute as Dan pointed out. Hello! Yes! Okay, we're good. We're good to go. Are we buffering at all, or are we okay? Because I never know. Especially with this new thing. Yay! Okay, awesome. So, hello! Guess who?
Hello!
If you don't know who this is Dan from Penholder. Penholder Art.
I think so, yeah.
Yes, you think so?
I don't know anymore.
And he came up to Edinburgh, so we thought it'd be great to do a live stream together. And have you done any abstract art?
Not really.
Okay, so he's not done abstract art before, and he said that it's like totally out of your comfort zone. Yeah. So we thought, well, I thought I could force you to do it on webcam because I'm that kind of a friend. So what we're going to do today, as you can see, we've got lots and lots of different tools to mark make with, and I'm going to talk about like my philosophy on making like my abstract art, and we're going to try lots and lots of mark making tools and then go through the process of hopefully bringing a few pieces to like a finished abstract paintings. You up for that?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Can't wait.
So we've got stacks of small papers. If you're my Patreon if you are my Patreon subscriber, you've seen like this painting size because this is what I send out to you guys. And I've just got two different types of paper. This is Bockingford cold press 300 GSM, 140 pounds. And this paper, I don't actually know what it is because it was like a random piece of paper I found in my studio. So we'll see how that goes.
I've got a few bits.
Yeah, what have you got?
I've got, I don't know what I've got. I have the Fabriano Student Watercolor Hot Press, and I've got some cold press of Jackson's and Dale Rowney somewhere.
And you got paints?
Paints, yep.
So, sorry, I'm still coughing. Anyway, so, I mean, abstract art can be a lot of different things. It could be like, it could be about capturing the mood, and it could be about like abstract landscape. So you still have a subject, but you are capturing it in an abstract way. The way I tend to see abstract art for myself is it's just a whole bunch of mark making and creating lots and lots of opportunity for yourself, and then just having a look at the result of your mark making and seeing what bits are working, what bits are you like, and then trying to bring that into something of a finished piece. So my main method is to always paint many pieces at once, and which is why we have so many. We don't have to get through all of this. There's quite a bit, but I just wanted to make plenty for us, so that you can just paint as many as you want. Another good reason for doing many paintings in one go is, of course, we sometimes have to wait for watercolors to dry, and when you have a few going at the same time, then you don't want to break the momentum. You know, when you get into the vibe and you're really focused on it, you don't want to stop and have to wait for the paintings to dry. You know, that kind of kills the mojo. So if you have many, you can just like do a circuit of all of them, and then by the time you finish the last one, the first one would have dried. So it's really practical in that sense too. The other thing, which I know a lot of people struggle with, is just losing control. Because I know you're very,
Yeah.
very like
Yeah.
controlled in your art, which I really, really admire people who can do really finely controlled, thought out paintings, because I don't have the patience for that. But in losing control, one of the easiest way to do it is to not look at the paper you're painting.
Okay.
Are you freaking out yet?
A little bit.
Yeah. We may break down in this live stream. I apologize now if we do. So we can try a little bit of that, because you don't have to not look at the paper the whole time.
Okay.
But when you're making the initial marks, you know, we feel fear in white piece of paper and we don't know what to do. It just takes away all those things. So we'll try a bit of that. I also have lots of, this is water soluble coloring pencil. This is water soluble crayons. We both have our own watercolors. I can see that you've got loads of pencils and pens as well, which is great. I also have a stack of mark making tools that I've used for making acrylic painting of abstract painting with, but I haven't tried it yet in watercolor, so this is going to be like a new thing for me as well. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being here and agreeing to be my guinea pig. And yeah, we'll just get painting. So do you want to try the little ones first?
Yeah,
or
try them.
okay, one tip was...
Make sure it's the right way.
Tell them about your yellow pan.
So I packed this away and I got it out and there was a pan stuck to it. So it came up all the way from down south up to Edinburgh with a pan stuck on.
It was amazing. It was totally fixed. Right. So the first rule we're gonna break with brushes, and this is the reason why I've thrown some brushes your way as well. I think that one and that one's at mine. Is to be really, really rough with your brush. And so we're no longer doing nice light strokes. We're gonna be like, literally, we're gonna be pressing it down and like almost breaking it, which is why I always paint with really cheap brushes. We're gonna be using the Escoda Ultimo in size 12 because I find they are the most expressive kind of brushes. So we'll try a few pieces with you, getting used to making marks without worrying about wrecking the paintbrush, because I'm totally fine with you wrecking this brush. And these are actually really tough and they're actually quite hard to break, so these are perfect. This or the size 10 is awesome. So, and in terms of color choices, especially when you're first getting started, it's good to just stick to one color for one piece, because then you're not having to worry about having colors that react with, you know, each other and make a unexpected color or anything. And the way I choose a good color for a monochromatic painting is colors that have a wide range of values. So something like indigo is really good. The Perylene colors are really good. The Indanthrone, your favorite,
yes,
is good. You have it?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, awesome.
So
I'm gonna try it with indigo. If you want to try it with Indanthrone.
I think it's got some other colour mixed in with it, but yeah, I'll give it a go.
His painting palette had a exciting journey up.
Yeah, and it's all melted.
Can we see what colours you have? Because I can see you've made colour chart.
So I did this. So I think most of them, apart from 2, are handmade ones. So that one is Daniel Smith's Primrose. And which is the other handmade one? That one, which is Dioxazine Purple by Lucas. And these are all the handmade ones I've been making.
Cool. I love that those these 3 colours are really nice.
I think that's the yellows, but they've got blue in it.
Intentionally or by accident?
By accident, so they're messy colours.
Melted. You've asked, did they melt?
It's because like the pans were so full, so when I did that, they just stuck, and then the weather, because it's been humid and then hot and dry, and it reactivated.
I'm just gonna bring my drinks over Eve, Dan is on the stream juice as well today. Right, so could you just pass me the spray bottle, please?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'm just spraying my watercolor palette.
Oh, this brush is huge.
Yeah. Do you want to try the size 10?
Let's see what this one's like. 'Cause
Okay.
I've never tried like such a big brush.
I've got bigger ones. Look, look, look over there.
It's massive.
Look. I think this isn't the biggest. No, this is the 18. So that
It's
must
bigger.
be the. Yeah.
Wow.
So this is the 20. This is 18. There is a 22. But I thought I was like going a bit nuts if I bought the 22.
Okay.
So yeah, they're massive. You could just like literally cover half of this square in one stroke. But these are amazing for doing you know, like my iris painting that had like huge what was the color? I think it was green gold, Daniel Smith's color. It was so easy to paint the background because it was just like swish, 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 done.
I don't paint that big, so I never need it. And I think it's this one.
Yeah. You think? Do you want a scrap piece of paper?
I think it is this one because it's that colour.
Yeah. So you just like start off the edge.
Okay.
And just press it right down. Bend the bristle. And then just move the brush around. I have no paint on this. Hang on. Yeah. And if you can bear it, like look up or look somewhere else.
Okay.
And just let the brush move around. How does? Oh, that's really nice.
Feels a bit strange.
It reminds me of like koi's in water. It's really nice. So you know, once you've done a fair amount, you then look at it and go, okay, you know, what do I like about it? What's missing? You know, what do I want to add? You know, can I see any shapes happening? You know, what's interesting? And another great tip for painting abstracts like this is to just spend some time turning your painting around to see, you know, if there's an orientation that works better than another one.
I'm not sure.
And if you're not sure, just add more marks, basically.
Okay.
Is the general rule. And you sometimes want to vary the intensity of the paint that's on your brush because that's what's going to bring out the three-dimensionality.
Okay.
I'm okay, honest.
That didn't quite go.
And all you're doing is trying to make as many different marks as you can. I do apologize for my coughing. So, how have you been enjoying Edinburgh?
Yeah, it's a really nice, relaxed city, and it's really
Sunny?
yeah, very sunny. Too sunny.
Yeah, I keep drinking the stream juice, Eve. The honey does help a bit. But what happened was I was away last weekend. And it was the first time traveling since I got like lots of different dietary restrictions. And it just didn't work out because we went to a small town. So the foods weren't ideal. Did Dan lobster much? Would you like to show
yeah,
them?
I don't know if it's going to show, but look, that's like the normal bit of my arm that's white, and that's like the red. It looks really red on camera, doesn't it?
That's because it is. Honestly, he came back from the Harry Potter tour yesterday, and he was like bright red. I'm like, oh my god, you must be in so much pain. And you were like, no, it's fine. And then this morning,
Yeah.
he came around. He's like, it hurts so much. So yeah. What's been your favourite thing so far in Edinburgh that you've seen?
The gardens look good.
Yeah.
They
The
were really
botanical
nice.
gardens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really nice, and it's nice to walk around and try not to get paint everywhere.
We also have salt somewhere. Oh, here. If you want to try salt. Some colours work better than others, but... And then once you get to a point you're like, oh, I don't know what to do, just leave it for a bit. And start another one.
Which salt is less better or is more better?
It depends on what you like, really. You kind of get a feel for what you like. Just by seeing how it reacts, and it changes with paints as well. Right, so maybe next one we should try, just put it on the floor, yeah. But in the whole paper. Yep, grab another one.
So this is blocking for the paper?
Yeah.
I think I've got hot press, I don't have the normal.
I'm gonna mute. Eve says soak down in a bath of after sun. I agree. Oh good, Pecco's doing better.
Oh, that's good.
She's on meds and special food until she feels better. I'm so glad she's doing okay.
Yeah.
Right, did we wet the paper?
Yeah.
Grab a crayon.
Oh, crayon, oh, that's different.
Pick a colour, any colour.
You see, didn't realise these things like existed. I don't want to do blue. Let's do that purple.
Okay, I'll go with a purple as well then. Right, we're gonna scribble.
Okay.
But don't look at the paper. So I would advise having your hand, so you have some feel of like not going completely off, and then just start and vary your speed. Cool.
Okay.
And then we'll try some watercolor pencils on top, because that will give it a different texture. So it's just about adding lots of marks, lots of different kinds of texture. Pick a color, any color.
That's good.
Yeah. I'm gonna go for red. Do the same thing, yeah. How are you doing?
I'm not sure.
That's okay, because then what we can do is let this dry, and then if we see a shape, we can go on top with some watercolors and enhance those shapes and like get rid of other shapes that we don't necessarily want as much. So we'll put that one to the side.
Those crayons are good. They really disperse quite well, don't they?
Yeah, they're really, really good. Let's try this time doing the same thing, but on dry paper, because that will give it a different result. And then the great thing with doing this bit dry first is that you can then just go straight in with your watercolor. So I'm gonna pick, as you said, right now I'm gonna be picky and pick this No, that's exactly the colour I was trying to avoid because it's the same one I used already. There we go.
To dry. Okay.
Eve says you can't really go wrong with abstracts. There's no limit of how many things you can layer here. Yeah, that is exactly right, and which is why I'm like, just do as many pieces as you can, like as fast as you can as well. Because once you start thinking, then that's it. You think too much and then you get bogged down. You know, what is it supposed to be? It's not what I want. You know. Whereas if you try to do it fast, you can't think too much, and then you actually get to rely on your instinct. And then we're trying the color pencils.
Try that.
Ooh, Ellen works for an art store.
Did you get a discount?
It's always that. That's always the first question, isn't it? What color am I going? I'm gonna go for orange. Is that too brave? Oh, I like your colors. Ellen says she works in what might be considered the world's tiniest department store, where giftware, office furniture, office supply, art supplies, a postal outlet, and Hallmark cards. And yes, she does get discount. Oh. How's yours doing?
Something.
Something?
Yeah.
Now, if you don't see anything, like even after twisting, a good thing to like add another step to it is just grab a small brush with water and just wiggle it around, see if that makes anything. Like you do get a lot of failure rates when you yeah. And bigger brushes are quite fun. I think that's your one. No, I need to go. Okay, I think I'm good. Sorry about the coughs. I already moved this stream from Thursday to today because my cough was even worse. And I've been doing okay today, but I don't know. Maybe it's nerves. Eve says I second Dan's worried expression when Otto coughs. Ella says they do get discount, but payday can be dangerous. I bet. I think if I worked in a art store, I would literally bankrupt myself. How you doing?
Yes. I'm not sure I like that one as much.
That's okay. You're totally allowed to not like something. Is it the method you don't like or just the piece?
I don't know.
Do you want to try another piece doing the same thing?
It's not really flowing very well, I don't think. It looks like a painting.
You can just like go in there with the brush more.
Let's try a big one.
Yeah.
growing on me a bit.
I'm running out of space. Hey, Palmyra. Yesterday was fun because we watched Eve's live stream
Yeah.
together. That was a good fun, good laugh. Another thing you can do is use credit card, or well, this is a Pizza Express card, and you can scrape paint across. So what you need is a strong big puddle of color. What am I going to use? I'm going to use Bordeaux because I do love the Bordeaux. And sometimes I just like splatter it, and sometimes I plop it. Plop it? Is that even a word? It's definitely not a technical word, is it? And then you can just move it about. I'll clean that for you so you can use it. Excuse me. Do you have any tips for painting large scale abstracts like full sheet size? Yeah, exactly the same thing. Paint many at the same time if the space allows for it, because well, I recommend that always because it's a great way to get rid of your resistance as well as all the other points that I said already. Because like when you're working on just one piece, like your enjoyment of it and your experience is so tied in with whether that one piece is working out or not. Whereas if you got many going on, then as long as one of those pieces works or one of those pieces is interesting to you and you want to work more on, then the other pieces don't matter at that time. You know, you can worry about the other pieces later, but you always have something that you feel good about using and working on, and you're happy with the result. And I think that's really, really important in making any paintings, is that, you know, how do you manage or how do you ensure that you're going to enjoy the experience of painting that piece. And other than that, with large scales, you do the same thing, make lots and lots of marks. Another thing that I do recommend, which we might actually do if you feel up for it, is to paint really big paper or bigger than your intended final piece. Make lots of marks on it, let it dry, and once it dries, what I tend to do is go around with a mount of that the finished size you want to have, and then just move around the big sheet of marks you made to see if there's something interesting that you want to happen, you know, that you want to make it into painting. So you're kind of editing down by creating a bigger piece first, because sometimes when we see the final piece in its, you know, final scale, we kind of think too much. Whereas if you do the big piece first, where you're not getting the full picture, you're getting more than the full picture, so you get to focus on the mark making, and then once it dries, you actually get to focus on the editing bit, which is when you go around with the big mounts, so that it's like a little picture window. So once we've done a couple more paintings so that you get used to the tools and methods, then we can totally do that if you feel up for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Slight fear in your eyes. What else? Palmyra says, first time I'm seeing someone from the watercolor community using Neocolor too. It doesn't happen very often. Yeah, I mean, I consider myself to be more mixed media than just watercolor. So, like, as long as it helps me create lots of interesting marks, then I don't mind what it is. Besides student watercolor. I won't use student watercolor. Besides that, I will use pretty much everything else. I really like using Neocolor, especially when we come to do a big piece, and also you can do like a big piece but with lots of little windows, and that actually comes out really well with the linear quality of the Neocolor and the watercolor pencils, because then like the lines end up being looking like a landscape when it's like being cut down into smaller pieces. So yeah, what else? The Neocolors are very good. Kim's saying that I love looking at this mixed media. Mark making really makes me want to buy these Neocolors. Yeah, and you don't have to have that one that big. I think I just got that on like a massive sale on Amazon. Because Neocolor 2s are expensive, but you can get like a set of, I think, like 8 colors, and that's a great place to start. Or if you can find somewhere either online or your local art stores that sell them just one by one, then that is a good way of getting just the colors you want, and therefore keeping the cost down as well. Right, so is your one dry?
Yeah.
Oh, you could put salt on it because it's still wet. I'm gonna put another color on because mine's actually dry. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm okay.
How are you feeling about like trying lots of new techniques?
Yeah, it's different.
Different. I'm trying Prussian. This is Eve's Prussian green.
Ah. Oh, so she sent you some that she made?
Yeah.
Ah.
And then I've got like little scraping tools as well. Because what happens when you scrape is the bit you scrape will go darker. And it's a great way to add some linear quality that is like really fine detailed as well.
How does it do that? How does it go darker?
Because you're breaking the surface of the paper. You're scratching it, so the I don't know if this paper is sized, but it works with most paper. It just kind of breaks up the fiber on the paper. I'm totally making this up.
Okay.
I'm totally guessing, by the way. Yeah.
Okay.
So then the paint can seep in. Yeah, you're not believing me now.
Yeah.
Pamela says, but pencils are such slow mediums on their own. It's so tedious. So that's where the soft, gorgeous watercolors come in. Yeah. Palmera's asking, how do you like Edinburgh?
Yeah, it's a very nice city. Too warm and too hot, but yeah.
He underestimated the Scottish sun. Do you feel brave to take on like a medium size? But we can mark it off into small windows. So you can see what I meant by the lines become like landscapes.
Yeah.
Awesome. You are being brave. I'm very impressed. Right, I'll get you a... What paper do you find? Do you want to use cellulose or I have Arches?
Cellulose is good. Cellulose is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
We might have to clear some space. Because I just have one little table. Oh, I just stuck my finger into some painting. Right, I'm gonna have to move you back. This is how I do live stream all the time. It's just like generally shifting things around. Right, so we're gonna use the Fabriano Academia. This is my go-to paper for like just experiments and stuff. Because they're so cheap. One paper for you, one paper for me.
It's just cold press, is it?
I guess so. It's Gran Naturel.
Okay.
So natural grain. So I guess that means cold press. Right. So what we're going to do is make little windows. So I'm going to grab some masking tape. Sorry, I think the door just went. Could you entertain them while I check on them, please? Oh, yeah. It's just Amazon.
Oh.
It's your curry paste. We're having curry tonight for dinner. So I'll just quickly make some windows.
Yeah, I think up north, like northern Scotland's quite colder, isn't it? It gets worse weather.
Huh?
Up north, like Scotland, it gets worse weather, doesn't it? Like it's colder.
Yeah, yeah. It definitely is a lot worse. So I'm just gonna quickly make a few windows and then just pass you this sheet. Not doing a great job of it. It's not a final piece, is it? So it's really interesting to basically go from a big painting down to a smaller final piece. So what got you into botanical painting? Because you mostly do botanical on your channel, right?
Bits and pieces, yeah. I don't know. I just guess I think I picked up a book on it, a cheap book, and sort of liked it and kind of went with it.
Yeah. What do you like about it? What do you enjoy about it?
But it's kind of, it's not too stressful. Like you can make lots of mistakes and it still look alright. Whereas if like a portrait you mess like a bit of a nose up or something, it's like gone really.
So I'm just making lots of little windows. And then you don't have to do like the whole shape one technique. You can do just rows.
Oh, I'm going over the masking tape.
Yeah. And I'm really hoping that this masking tape will stand watercolor. Haven't tested that. Well, it's the same masking tape that I use for these, it's just thinner. So, and it's amazing how you go, oh, that's a mess, but then once you remove the tape and you see the border, the white border around your art piece, then it actually looks, oh sorry, pretty
Thanks.
good and look finished. So don't freak out if like this isn't going the way, like, oh, it doesn't look like a final piece. Never freak out if it doesn't look like it's a final piece. So you are welcome to start if you want to. And then like you're gonna have a lot of squares that won't work, but within that group of pieces, squares that ain't working, you'll find one that really works for you, and you can just cut that out and call it a final piece. I like to cheat in terms of what I call a final piece. Ellen says, I started as a strict pencil artist when I started drawing as a kid, and when I'm feeling blocked I go back and do really technical rendering to get going again. I admire anyone who can do technical stuff, because I just don't have the patience or the eye. Like my eyes get really tired. Do you find that?
Yeah.
If I try to do like really detailed stuff. I like the way you're abusing that brush.
Do you add like more than one colour together? Or
yeah, you can, yeah. Okay. Just go for it, because this is, I mean, this is such a cheap piece of paper. You don't have to finish a final piece with it. What was that?
Nothing.
And it's just all about experiment. I mean, art is all about experiment, right? But I feel like with, especially with abstract art, it's even more about abstract. It's even more about experimenting. I might go for a smaller brush. Excuse me. And I'll go around, but don't reach. One thing with these is that this I find that they tend to look better if you leave some white space somewhere in the box. Where's the new color, please?
Oh, it's on the floor.
Oh, thank you. Palmyra says, when I was in Scotland, it was snowing, so I have no idea what sun you're talking about. I did go to the Highlands, though. I think it's really cool out there, yeah. That's funny. Ellen says, that's funny because I never thought I had the patience for watercolor until a few years ago. When I picked it up, I was always afraid of living with the imperfection. Eve says, cat drama on top of trying to prep breakfast. Are the cats okay? And don't forget, you can always rotate your paper if you like get stuck as to like what to do and stuff. I'm totally running out of space.
Can we to move some?
Sorry. Thank you. So like I tend to do lines. In different colors and stuff. Scout has been a ball of rage and aggression since we came back. Maybe it's like she's like worried about Pecco. And that's like her way of expressing worry.
Unless she's jealous because she's getting attention.
Maybe, yeah, that is possible too. And then I'll leave this here in case you want it. Watercolor, hello beautiful. Yeah. Do you not talk to your paint?
No, I don't.
Just me, just the crazy one. Queen Rose, yes, definitely the Queen Rose, I think. Have you ever used salt before?
I did once, but it didn't really turn out right. I don't know what I did.
What did you do?
I
mean, what happened?
I just put the salt on and it dried, and then I brushed it off, and nothing happened.
It was probably the wrong color, because I'm finding, you know, with my color showdowns, that some colors will react really well to salt, and others won't.
Not sure now what to do with this one.
Try adding some linear quality to it, either with the Neo color or the watercolor pencil, or even scratching it. Because when you have lots of broad strokes, then what you want lots of variations. So variations in value, variations in line thickness.
Yeah, okay, I don't know if that's going to work.
You have to really scratch it with the corner if you want to do the lines like the ones I did. Malvina is asking Neocolor how they work. Do you mean how do they work, or how they're working out? Oh, thank you, Kim. She likes my lines. Yay! What color do I want next? I want a green, but I actually want the green gold rather than the PG one. Like that. Now, where do I pick my green gold? In my 20 bazillion palettes.
That's a lot of palettes.
Yeah, there's a lot of paint. Found my green gold. They are so systematized because they're labeled. That's practically the same color. Okay. Not green gold. How you doing?
Yes.
So you got a lot of mid-tone values going on. So
Okay.
you might want to add something. Ooh, a fan brush. You might want to add like a darker mark, like you've got your fine liner, or you can grab, there's a black watercolor pencils right here.
Oh, okay.
If you go over the wet area, it will come out really black, and if you go over the drier area, it won't be so bright. Yes, I do really enjoy working with the neo colors, especially when I'm doing things like this, because like you can see it really alters the color of the paint I put down. So yeah, I really do like them for this kind of exercise. I just think they're fun. And then like, if you don't know what to do, just try focusing on like a square.
Yeah.
And see what you would like to see in that square. Because sometimes we can get lost with the overall picture. And also think about variations in shape. Hello from Austria. Oh, I love Austria. Have you been to Austria?
No, I've never
It's
been.
amazing. Hello to Austria from Catherine. I love it.
It's like a bit like Germany, isn't it?
They speak
like the same
German,
language.
yeah, but I don't know. It just, to me, it has so much. Well, I wouldn't say it's got more beauty in it because they're both very beautiful countries. But I just really find Vienna and its art, like personally, more interesting. Was like in my head, like German art is more brute. And probably like got completely the wrong impression of German art, and so I'm gonna get told off by someone though. Hi, Stephen. And then like of course you have like a beautiful countryside, but it's mostly the art because like I travel mostly to see art, and you know you've got like Klimt going on, and you've got Secessions, and they have amazing food, and they have the biggest collection of Egon Schiele work in the museum, which is always good. Right, I need to change my mark making sides because they're all looking quite uniform now. I'm gonna scratch. Ooh, Cyan says she sees dragon in yours.
Really?
Where's the head, Cyan? Catherine says, yes, we do speak German, but with another accent, like UK and US. I find the Austrian German softer sounding. Right, what's missing? So mine is like really intense colors and not enough pale colors. So I'm kind of after. That's really bright. No, that's not what I wanted. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Not
So
sure.
you've got lots of squares that are just the same value in terms of the color, how intense the color is, and also the mark making. They're just all brushes. So you might want to focus on adding more mark variations around here, and also like around here, and just see how it goes. And also sometimes you want to change direction. Because when you change, whoa, that is really, really, really green. I didn't intend for that at all. Never mind, carry on. And then you might want to think about the scale of the marks, so that your dots are great. Science. Catherine says yes. I see dragon too. So you have a dragon somewhere. The green bit is the wing.
This bit here.
Palm thinks it's dragon too with the Oh, so that's the wing.
That bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see a wing. Like you see here, and like the wingy bit. Is that the head? Because I can kind of see that being a head with like long,
yeah,
like whiskers or whatever they call.
Top left corner's a head.
Oh, okay.
Is it?
It's up to you.
I can't see it.
Sometimes, like if you can't see anything at all, then it's good to just rotate the paper again. I highly recommend rotating papers. It's amazing. What color do I want? No, that's way too dark. Palm says you can actually go both ways. So that could be the head or that could be the head. Palm says I see the lower blue as the tail and the head is blurry like he's flying through the sky.
Okay.
It's amazing what different people see, which is kind of the fun of abstract painting, as like it's so interesting because people will see completely different things in like the same piece, and it's a bit like the not Escher, you know, the ink blot tests.
Oh yeah.
It does tell me a lot about that person from what they see, because normally they'll see something that is quite important to them or quite big to them, or they have a really fond memory. So like I had two people look at the same painting, and one saw a mountain, and I spoke to them, and they actually grew up by a mountain, so that's what they see a lot. And another person saw a wave, and they literally just like lived, went to the beach loads as a child. So it's really fascinating.
Does that mean people in the chat have a pet dragon then? They're not telling us.
Pet dragon would be awesome. Yes, Rorschach painting. Tests. Are they called painting or tests?
I'm not sure.
Eve, educate us. Ooh, Palm sees a field of hot air balloons.
Okay. I'm not sure what to make of it.
So, like, if also one thing you can do, like, if you're really not sure of how it's going, just like look at the overall color palette and the mood, and make sure it's kind of the right color palette and the right mood you want to express.
Okay.
I know it's a lot too, but you don't have to do all of them. It's just a range of things. I really want a thin wash of blue. Yeah, like I know how to pronounce Rorschach because I've seen the Watchmen movie. Eve saying I mostly of Rorschach through reading the Watchmen comics. Have you seen the film?
Yeah, I've seen the film, yeah.
That is the only reason I know how to pronounce his name. Lizzie says Dan's look like the bottom of the ocean.
Oh.
It does, yeah. Can you see it?
No, I can't.
It's like seaweeds and fish and...
Oh yeah, I guess, yeah.
Sideways. So what do you think of abstract art in general?
Yes. I've seen some good ones and some that are like a bit weird.
What are the weird ones?
Like, they'd just be like random shapes, but not like this, not like all together. It would just be like red squares or something.
Yeah.
I think like how difficult is it, or...
Sorry, I'm gonna have to mute.
You okay?
Oh, grand, yes, I'm great.
So I think Otto's taking a bit of a breather, I think. She's not feeling too good. I'm never good at abstracts because I never know where to go with them. I just can't see anything in them. I can't see any kind of shape or anything.
Okay, I think I'm good.
Yeah?
I really want to get rid of this cough. I spoke too soon. Ian Jackson says, Otto, are we in official heat wave mode? Yeah, I think we're expecting 27 this week. It's going to be hotter down south, right?
Yeah, I think 29. I think on Friday or Saturday. I'm sort of internally crying.
Palm is asking, is it a breathing issue or just coffee? It's actually neither. It's actually a dietary problem. I've after about 10 months of going to the doctors, we figured out, well, I figured out because the doctors didn't, that it's actually food allergy causing acid reflux, and then that makes me cough. So I've removed like gluten and dairy from my diet, but then, and I was doing really, really well. This is like watching ill person paint, isn't it? I was doing really, really well until I went away, and then we were staying in a place where they were very, very like food requirement aware. So there was a lot of gluten-free options, but there were the fake food, like gluten-free bread and stuff. And no, I'm pretty sure I am not allergic to jazz because I've been really well with jazz around as well. So definitely not allergic to jazz. But like, so you either had fake food option or really stodgy food, neither of which go really well for me. I'm more like fish, chicken with lots of veg. So I was on that kind of diet before we went away, and I was doing really, really well. So I'm just getting back into my own food. My husband and I actually left the place a day early just so that I can get back into my own food, you know, with me cooking it, so I knew exactly what was in it, and just waiting for my digestion to settle. So didn't think I'd be talking about my digestion in an art live stream, did you? Yeah, dietary is manageable, but it was my first time traveling with lots of dietary requirements, and I've understand now that I was totally unprepared. Like, I did not prepare enough like good snack foods for myself, or like just making sure that places had the food that I know works for me. So rather than like, I went with like, oh, they say, oh, we got you, you know, gluten-free bread, so I'd eat it and then I'd get ill. So I'm learning, I'm getting there. How you doing?
Yeah. I think it's alright.
Yeah. Shall we very, very carefully peel this and hopefully
Yeah.
we don't smudge anything? See how it's gone.
So which way is this way?
Hey, Penholder Art! I am teaching Dan how to do abstract painting, and we're trying out lots of different techniques, and right now it's just about making a big mess on a sheet that's already had the masking tape on. How's it looking? They're really interesting. That's like I think of like Riverside with like what's this? I don't know. I don't know the words. You know, like long grassy planty things.
Yeah.
Or like river flow with like fish in it. Ian says, I get a bit ill when I listen to folk music. I think most people do. How are you at folk music?
I don't listen to it.
Me neither. How's the puppy, Cyan? She got a puppy last weekend, last Saturday, was it?
Yeah, white fluffy thing.
Yeah. I'm really, really liking your patterns.
Really?
Yeah. I think with abstract art, that's the other skill that you kind of need to be able to enjoy it, is the ability to just imagine things and see, like, what it could be about. Apparently, puppy has been fine, growing super fast. Eve says, I love how the pieces are looking without the tape. I'm really liking your color choices now that I've seen it without the tape. It's really nice. Right, I'm back. Eve says, take the unspoken casualty of art, of abstract art. Indeed. How you doing?
Yeah.
Turn the pages around. That's like river with, like, you know, the grass that grows in water, like just waving. Are there any piece that really draws your eye?
Right, this sort of bit.
Yeah. So this is really good if you want, like, it's a bit like doing little study paintings, but just in abstract art, because then you get to learn, like, what you like, which is really important, but also, like, you get to design layouts and compositions without having to worry about, I have to make a composition. And as long as, like, one or two of them work, that's all you need. You can then take it to a bigger piece if you want, and it will have the, like, unexpected energy that you wouldn't have had if you just start by going, I am going to make lots of layouts and compositions. So that's one way of creating either mini pieces or, like, good studies. And I'm really liking the little dots here. What else? Maybe that way. Oh, I like that, because that's like the Highland of Scotland kind of landscape and stuff. So this is a really, really good exercise, and it's also really fun. Some artists, like Melody Art on Instagram, creates finished pieces that are of lots of little small paintings. If you've seen her on Instagram, and they're really, really pretty as well. She also puts, like, gold gilding on it and stuff, which is really nice. So that's one way. So next, I think we're gonna paint a big paper and then go around with the mounts and see if you can spot a good piece as a painting. How do you feel? How do you feel about this?
Yeah, it was good. It was fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
It was just sort of fun. It's different to do.
Yeah. Are you still feeling comfortable?
Yeah.
Yeah? Good. Right, paper, bigger paper. I'm just gonna make paper. If you guys want to chat amongst yourself, do we have any comments?
They're talking about folk music. Apparently, there was an eye in your one of your ones.
Oh, where? Tell me where.
The green in the middle.
This one?
One of these, yeah.
Yeah, I can kind of see an eye with eyelashes there as well. Just gonna cut a piece of paper. So do you think you'll come back to Edinburgh?
Yeah, I think I will. Yeah, it's a really nice city.
I need my bone folder. The reason why I haven't prepped any of this is because we're doing a bit fly on the wall, on the fly. So I do apologise.
Well, that's a big sheet of paper.
Yeah, this is a full imperial size sheet.
Well,
have you ever painted on a full size sheet?
no, never.
Well, I'm going to give you half.
Oh, that's huge still. I don't think I've painted that big either.
You're about to.
I think the biggest I've done is coarse sheet.
Yeah. Well, you're about to for your first time. So I'm going to give you the table on the camera, and I'm going to do mine on the floor.
Okay.
Because I don't think we'll both fit.
Thanks.
So this time, you just want to fill the page,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll show you what we're going to do. If I have a small mount somewhere. Oh yeah, I have this. So this is a picture mount. And then what we can do is, if you get a piece that you really like, I can mount it for you, and then you can take it home.
Thanks.
I don't think I have any. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover the sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it will dry reasonably quick, and then we're going to just go around and go, oh, does this work? And there's usually at least one piece that will work.
Yeah.
So just let loose, do what you want.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go, and then I'll come back and show you mine. If you could keep an eye on the comments, that would be awesome, because I can't see. And don't forget to like vary the values, speed, break the brush.
Is this how big you normally paint?
At least a half size, yeah. So this size. When, especially when I'm doing this technique of, you know, painting a bigger painting and then creating a smaller piece out of it, because you need to go quite big to create as many opportunity for yourself as you can. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the trio colors I really like. Do you have like favorite color combinations that is your go-to colors?
Yellow and blue's good.
Yeah. Any yellow and blue?
Like a really cold yellow and like a dark blue, like in damp room.
Yeah.
Oh, Eve says she's excited to paint after this live stream.
Yay! I'm so happy when people get like motivated to paint. And I think seeing everyone else paint is always a good motivator. So what techniques are you using?
Bit of everything really. Lots of lines and wet and wet. Whoops.
I'm making a mess on the carpet. Well, on the floor because it's all covered and protected. But so, what's your studio setup like?
I don't have one. I paint on the front room table.
Yeah.
And just leave everything on it.
That's basically how I started as well, and it's still the same table. This is, just a dining table. Have you ever tried putting 2 different colors on a brush and then seeing what happens?
Yeah, I kind of got that going on at the minute.
Yay!
Because everything's all melted together. What colour do I go for? Let's go for one of these. Oh, maybe not.
Hmm? How's it going for you?
Yeah,
Yay! Try
something.
moving across. Robin? Hang
I
on.
missed it.
I'm going to do some questions because I'm almost done.
That's quick.
Big brush. Robin's saying, I really struggle with letting myself go with creativity and abstract things. Seeing how you do this is such a confidence giver. The quickest way to... Oh, I'm totally off the camera. Quickest way to just let go of all the control is to not look at what you're painting. Either close your eyes or look away. It's totally scary to begin with, so practice on like smaller pieces or on cheaper paper, so there's no pressure if it looks like a complete mess. And like I still create complete mess sometimes, so
yeah.
But as long as you keep like your color choices simple, I personally struggle with anything that's more than like say 4 colors. I know I have like big palettes and lots of colors, but when I paint, I like to stick to 3 or 4 colors because I'm not looking what I'm doing. I can easily create like not a very pretty. Ooh, I like what you just did. Nice. Hang on, let me move that for you. What was I saying? Control, right? What was I saying? Help me.
About it's easier to let it go if you.
Were
don't
you
look.
listening?
Yeah. Just about.
Thank you for listening. I really like that line. It's so bold. What was I saying?
But it's easier to not look at what you're doing. And
Oh
then...
yeah. So if you're not looking at what you're doing and you've got too many colours going on, then you can make a mess. But as long as you choose the colours carefully to begin with before you start, to make sure that it's not going to create any unexpected colors that you don't want. I wouldn't say to create mud, because sometimes you want that mud there, and you can add mud in later. Oh, nice. Is that ultramarine blue?
Yeah.
Nice. What's the purple?
It's PV19.
Okay, that doesn't narrow it down.
Handmade one.
Oh, nice. It's really nice color. It's like quinacridone violet kind of color. It's really nice. And just be brave. Use cheaper materials, like cheaper paper, so that you don't have that monetary pressure to get it right. Because when you start worrying about getting it right, or when you start worrying about anything, especially in abstract art, you can tell. You can really feel it when somebody's hesitated. Or I really should put this in water first. Hang on. You can really tell if someone hesitates. And also, paint big, so you use your whole arm, like Dan's doing right now. He's using his whole arm, which is really good. And I might put lines, I might use that tool after you. And do you have any tips for painting in general? Or like...
Just to enjoy it and like what you painted.
Do you have any like techniques or like ways you do things to help with that?
To try and relax when doing it. Get in the right frame of mind.
Yeah. Although sometimes I painted when I'm really angry, and I painted nice pieces too. As long as you have some emotion behind you, I think.
Yeah.
And I know Eve's freaking out that I used the word mud. The reason why I avoided using the word mud is because I agree with Eve that mud isn't bad. Mud is just brown or neutralized colors, and they are beautiful as well. Because I know she'll be freaking out. Is she freaking out about it?
She said mud.
Yeah.
It's just brown.
Yeah, exactly. I knew she would. So how long have you been painting?
I got back into painting about 2.5-ish years ago.
What got you back into it?
I just watched a YouTube video and found it interesting again. So I started back into it and went from there really.
Cool. Have you like always painted in watercolor, or have you tried?
Yeah, I've got acrylics and I've tried oil, but nothing quite beats watercolor.
Yeah. What do you like about watercolor?
It's like really versatile and it's clean.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I'm like, the aftermath is so much easier.
That's what I found when doing with like oil painting. I have to get like a palette out, I have to get all the tubes out, and then the paint dries and I have to scrape it off.
Yeah.
There's no worry with this. I just sort of leave it.
Yeah. And like the paints come off the brush so much easier.
Yeah. You can't really kill a brush by leaving paint on it.
How you doing?
Yeah. It's some sort of thing.
And I think especially with abstract pieces, you have to train your mind to
No.
accept your creation.
Yeah.
Which I know can be hard for some people.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's so easy for us to get into this mind frame of, oh, it's not right, I'm not, you know, of always analysing what you're doing wrong rather than focusing on what's working.
Yeah.
Which is why I really like painting many pieces, because then you do get the chance, you get to have a break from that and just be able to look at, wow, I just splashed everywhere. You really get to look at, you get the opportunity to just go, oh, I like this. I think I'm pretty done. How you?
Yeah, somewhere.
Somewhere.
Not sure where that somewhere is.
That's okay. As long as you're getting somewhere. As long as you paint, that's all that matters. Oh, I might need to borrow. I'm gonna yoink this salt. I love the salt effect you got going on here.
Oh, I didn't realise that was happening. It must have only just done that.
It's actually been doing that for a while.
Oh. I'm just really observant.
No, you're just absorbed in the act of creating. Ooh, I like that, like grey, blue-grey colour you created.
Which one?
There.
Oh, that's the paint. It's that really expensive paint.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Okay. How's it going?
Yeah, I think I'm done. I think might be done.
Well, hover the mount over. If you're not sure, hover the mount over, because then you'll be like, oh, maybe it's too much white space, or no, it's the right amount of white space.
I'm still not sure. No.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you later.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there are some bits that are good. That bit was quite good.
That bit's really nice. I bet that bit's gonna be beautiful.
That bit. I'm not sure which bit of it's like this bit looks good or this bit.
It's alright. You can play around with it. I just need to dry this now. I don't have a hairdryer, so we do the manual way of drying while we answer questions. So if you have questions for both Dan and I, then ask away, because we need to wave this and dry at the same time. The manual way of drying. We're all manual here. Mine's like okay. Mine's just got patches that are damp. And sometimes it's just fun to move wet paint, because that will create linear patterns as well. Especially around here, you're going to get some really interesting effects. And sometimes you just kind of need to tap it. I'm sorry, I don't have a hairdryer. I just don't know with hairdryers, because like I worry about the noise with live camera.
Yeah.
My painting's looking like this at the moment.
Yeah, I moved too slow.
Hmm?
I worked too slow.
No, you don't. You work at the pace you're comfortable at. Honestly, the great thing about doing abstracts is that self-acceptance becomes part of it. Eve has a question. How do you deal with summer weather when it comes to art drawing? I need to cough. Sorry. Do you think your arm will peel?
Well, I think that's what that might be.
Oh. I was doing so well with the cough there. Summer and drying.
With paints, it's a pain. I don't really notice it with when painting though.
No, I don't notice it.
Apart from it being really hot and uncomfortable to paint.
I do tend to find that it dries too fast.
Yeah, it does dry a bit quicker. See, Arto's just taking a bit of a break. She's coughing. She's on well again. Yeah, I notice it about painting in the summer. I notice it when the winter comes around that things take longer to dry. I don't notice it in the summer that they're drying quicker. I just notice it afterwards that things are taking longer to dry. Yeah, it's really odd. She's been really good all day, really, and even yesterday she wasn't coughing that much. But all of a sudden it's just sort of happened. I think she's okay now. I think she's stopped.
Holy moly!
All good?
I think so. I'm so sorry. Hi. What did I miss?
I don't think anything.
Do any of you do mixed media abstract art? It depends on your definition of mixed media, because I think using like the crayons and the watercolor pencils, that's kind of mixed media. But if you're talking about like mixing acrylic painting and stuff, I tend to keep the two separated. Like I do some acrylic art and I do some watercolor as well. And the only reason why I do that is because I want to keep the brushes separated.
Yeah.
I don't want my watercolor brushes to get into the acrylics or get acrylics into the brushes and stuff. That's the only reason why I keep the two separate. Stephen asked, did you two start fresh with these bigger pieces, or did you choose from one of those mini paintings as a starting point? What about you?
This was all fresh. I think I've kept some of the same colours, I think, like the yellow and the blue. It's all pretty fresh.
Yeah, mine was just like, I just want to have fun on a big piece of paper. Because that's where I'm most comfortable at. So like half-size sheet like this is like perfect for me. So it's like a different kind of experience to creating like the smaller pieces that we did earlier. So I just kind of went loose with it, and there's like colors that I go to quite often. So yeah, that's how I did it. How do you know when an abstract is finished? You don't. You just have to take a chance. Sometimes it's finished because you can't see anything else you want to do to it. And then it's just a matter of like how you frame it, like with the mount board and stuff. I think it's a different game. If it's a different if ball game
Yeah, it's different sort of way
ball
to
game.
decide,
Yeah, it's a different sort of ball game. If you're like you have a set size and you're working to that already, then like the painting has to feel finished. Whereas when you do it like this way, or painting like bigger things, or like the exercise we did before, you don't have to worry so much about that, because that finishing it comes in the editing of it. Ian is asking, what paper are you working on? This is a Buckinghamfoot cold press. How did you feel? Did you enjoy using the Buckinghamfoot cold press?
Yeah, it was really good. It was nice paper.
Because I know with Botanical, it's mostly hot press, isn't it?
Yeah, I want to work more on cold press because it's quite good. It's quite nice. Oh.
I'll just be over here. No, I can see the sound volume go up. Please carry on. Please take over my live stream.
So what paper are you working on, and does... so I'm guessing with making it different to abstract would be that I guess it kind of would. Like cold pressed paper would definitely show up like more granulation and more like texture, I'm guessing. I haven't used salt a lot, so I don't know if it will affect that. But definitely with anything that will granulate, it will show granulation, whereas hot press won't. So I guess it'll make a difference in that kind of way. And as well, I think on hot pressed, it's different. Like you get different edges. Sometimes you get like the edge of like a line will be different, or and I just put my finger in paint. And I guess it just has a bit of a different look to it, because it's a different texture.
Hey! I returned to my own live stream. My goodness, I've never abandoned the camera this much. How's your paper?
Yeah.
And in abstract, does the paper make a difference? The texture, I think, makes a difference. So it depends on like how much texture, especially like if you're using granulating colors, and depending on how much of that you want showing up as well. Because of course, if you use like the rougher the texture of the paper, the more you're gonna see that granulation. Like here, you got lovely granulation. Is it ultramarine blue?
Yep.
Yeah, and stuff. So that you make that decision at the beginning. And I'm way too bleached out here. Told you, Scottish weather, very changeable. Fun. Right, how's your paper doing? Is it almost dry?
Some of it's almost dry. Most of it.
This is mine.
Just one or two bits. Do you want me to move this so you can fit them?
Oh, thank you. Thank you very kindly. So then what you do when you have this big mess and you're like, that's not anything, you take a small amount like this and you just start seeing if you see anything of particular that takes your fancy. And the way what I look out for is like a potential of a story. So it might not be exactly like, it might not look like a whale, for example, but if it suggests that, or like some movement like this, I'm really liking. Because you got a nice big bit of white, and then you have all this linear pattern, so that's quite strong. And sometimes you have to go like at an angle as well. I'm totally off the camera, sorry. Just to see the potential. And of course, if you can't see anything in one dimension, then you can always, you know, rotate your paper and go around again, see if there's anything. Sorry, I'm just going to lower the blind a bit more so that we don't get totally bleached up. I'm also probably showing my armpit to the world right now. There we go, that's better, isn't it? I'll just up the brightness a bit. And then you just find a piece that you like. Do you see any that I liked over here? I really like the movement of this. So what I'm gonna do is just plonk it there, grab a piece of paper, no, pencil. Die of coughing. And then just mark it. And then I know that's exactly where I want to cut. I can mount this later, like this, just by cutting it, because I know that will match the edges here. So that's what I tend to do to make abstract art in a way that isn't so focused on the final product. So do you want to have a go?
Yeah.
Just make sure this is dry. There you go.
So I'm not really.
Oh, bye, Paolo. Have a nice walk with your dog. Did you know he had a dog?
What dog?
Paolo.
Hmm?
He had dogs.
Oh. That bit looks interesting, and then I'm not sure how I want. It's not quite sure. Okay. I'm not sure which bit is here, because this one looks.
Oh, that's really nice as it is. Yeah.
But I'm not sure which way to have it, like that way or this, or moved over a little bit to get this bit.
I really like. Oh, yeah.
So obviously that's a bit coming off of that. It's all sort of.
Yeah, that's really nice though, the way you had it just there. Because then you have the movement going across the.
Yeah.
Slightly down.
About there-ish.
Yeah. Because you want some sort of energy and movement in your piece.
So about there.
Yeah, I really like that.
Do an angle like that.
Ooh, yeah, that is nice. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to mark it?
Yeah. Thanks. Ooh.
And you might be able to get another piece out of that one. Yeah, I can see it.
Do I not turn it on? Or...
I'll just do it. Right, I think we're good. There we go.
Nice.
And then you can probably get something over here.
So again, it's definitely that little focal point, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just sort of.
Which way will you go?
I kind of like that actually.
That looks like a flower, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that looks probably quite good.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Now, what you have to be careful is not go over the other one. No, it's fine.
So
you're fine.
Yeah, because it's part of the.
Yeah. Okay, just give me a second. I'll cut this out for you. Excuse me. Sorry. Sorry for going completely in front of you. This one is going to be nice. Sorry, I'm totally off the camera. It's so easy to just get really absorbed in what you're doing. So how do you feel about these pieces? You've got finished pieces.
Yeah, I'm surprised. It was like really quite easy and not really stressful.
It's why I really like abstract, and I like every time I hear someone go, "Oh, abstract is really hard," I'm like, "It's not. It's so not." Could you pass me the yellow ruler that's hanging off one of the hooks, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So organised.
Thank you.
Mine's really terrible.
I have, like, when you have a small studio, you kind of have to be organized in some ways. I'm just gonna make sure that I'm doing it right. It was like this, wasn't it? Yeah.
I don't know. Was it?
Well, this is the line you drew.
Yeah, it might have been, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna quickly mount it for you so that you have like a finished piece that you can take home. So what I'm doing is just trimming ½ inch from all the way around so that it's not right to the edge of the mount. Am I in camera? I'm completely not in camera. I am so sorry. I'm not used to having this box here. Alright, so I'll just cut that. And then while I mount it, do you want to cut this piece?
Yep.
So this is basically like a start to finish of the whole abstract watercolor paint making process. Done really quick. I tend to normally let these dry and then flatten them and stuff, but I'm gonna get you a fresh one. So if you want to cut that one,
I know it was really quick. I expected it to take a lot longer.
you can, but to me, the energy in an abstract painting is also about speed, because speed shows up as energy and flow and movement. Especially when you're using watercolor. Watercolor is very good at expressing how fast your brush is moved. I have a mounting tape over here. Ooh, hello from Virginia, America. What?
Oh, I was wondering who you were talking about.
So this is a mounting tape. Please don't ask me what the difference between a mounting tape and a normal tape is. It's just, I bought the tape that said mounting tape for mounting paintings onto. I'm just going to trim this bottom bit. Just going to scrape some of the salt away. So what do you think about abstract art? Now that you've like given it a go, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting and it's just different.
Yay!
I think it would be good to do something like this and then like do like a really detailed thing.
Yeah.
Like to loosen you up.
Like this?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a bit wavy because we've not had time to flatten the thing properly. But
is that what you do with like anybody who orders any art? Or?
Yeah. So like if I'm making a piece that I'm selling, then I will flatten the piece completely first. Let it dry, flatten it, because, and then tape it, and then that is your painting.
Wow. Thanks. Wow.
Ta-da! What do you think?
Yeah, that's really good.
Beautiful. It's got the movement and it's got really interesting texture. I'll just quickly do this one. Do I use brush stroke? No, I don't use brush stroke for the simple reason I really would love to use brush stroke, but I don't because I heard that they're not light fast. So if I'm wrong about that and you know that it's light fast, please let me know because I would love to try it. Do you know what Brusho is?
Yeah, it's like powder, isn't it?
It's like this pigment powder thing, but it isn't like pigment. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm just trimming 1/2 inch off all sides. Here. Welcome back, Eve. They do look like great fun and like really intense in color. I love anything that is like really intense in color. Like Dan's blue. Which he gave me a load of. Thank you so much. You're so kind. He gifted me with lots of handmade, beautiful handmade watercolors and a lot of Dan's blue. So I am very, very, very honored. Thank you. And I'll show you them on this Thursday on my normal live stream time. Because I'm going to do a haul for, what month are we in? June. June, we're in June. June haul video as a live stream this Thursday. So I will show off each and every single one of them, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no problem, thanks.
Because they are always beautiful. When are you bringing out your new ones?
Hopefully middle of July. I'm trying to. It's one of those things I keep saying, yeah, it's going to be then, and then it's not then.
Yeah, I'm the same with my website, web shop. Because I'm like, oh yeah, it's totally going to open in June. Well, I have a web shop. It is open. It's just that what I mean is I want to put some art supply stuff. Like I've got that stack of paper is watercolor sample packs.
Wow.
Of 3 different textures, but I don't know where the time goes. And I took this week off, so we've been going to lots of places, haven't we?
Yeah, it's been good. Hopefully it won't be long as well before Eve gets her paints that I sent her.
Paint what?
Paints that I sent Eve.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, Eve, you have to open that on camera. I want to see it. Eve, can you promise me? I really want to see what he sent you. Did I miss something? Brusho is as light fast as any other similar types of watercolor medium. That's what the company website says. Thank you, Ian. I don't know, does that sound quite vague?
Ish. I never
Depends on which color they're talking about.
I never trust what the company says about its own stuff. You never know if they're just sort of doing it to promote or...
Although there was one person, I inquired about the light fastness of a pigment that they had, and they said that the pigment is light fast forever, in capital letters, forever. So I didn't trust that. Right, and this is your second piece.
Wow.
Oh, no, come back. I dropped it under the table, excuse me. There we go. Not the painting, just the bag. Forever, as Eve says. Yes. I was like, right, I believe you. So that is your 2 paintings.
Thanks, wow.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, I quite like them.
How do you feel?
I feel like I've accomplished something.
You definitely did. It's your first 2 abstract pieces. What do you think of Dan's pieces? Aren't they beautiful?
I definitely like that one more now that it's been like cut off.
Yeah.
It looks a bit more obvious.
They look, to me it looks like a flower.
Hmm.
What does it look like to you? Is it this way up?
I guess anyway, I don't... Yeah, I think it's that way.
Yeah?
It looks... Yeah, it does look like a flower, yeah. Or fireworks.
Yeah. And that one is just like such a beautiful texture and colour. I really love the colours you used in there.
Yeah, I need to remember them. So I think it's ultramarine, there's some turquoise in there, lemon yellow, and then something else.
Ellen says so pretty. And yes, it looks like the back of a poppy.
Ah.
Ah. Robin says, great work. Framing it makes such a difference to how you see them. Yeah. Like, even if you're not sure if your abstract space is working, always at least put a mount on top so that you can see how it's going to look at the end, because how it looks mounted is so different to like just a piece of paper that's on your table. Ian says, did they say like forever? They did put forever in capitals. Stacy says she loves them. Robin says, yeah, I see an exploding flower. Ray says, they are, looks like a flower to me too. So I think that's definitely going to be a flower. Are you going to title them?
I don't know what.
You have to title it.
I'm really bad at coming up with titles, like video titles and bits like that.
Me too. I'm just like, all my video titles are literally just like what's going to be in the video. Eve says, where do you get the mats? Right, so I can't remember exactly where I got this because I haven't got them in a while. But I know Jackson's do them as well.
What, the frames?
I'm trying to finish this stream without coughing. It's touch and go right now. Yeah, I think Jackson sell them as well, but I also get them from Cotswolds Framing in the UK. They do really good quality. You can also use like the mats that come in IKEA frames. They do really good frames for very affordable prices, and they all come as mats. Okay, I'm gonna cough again while I read the questions. So yeah, I think that is abstract art paint in watercolor from start to finish. Great thing with watercolor abstract painting, as you said, it's so fast. Like, we've been streaming for 2 hours nearly, and you did lots of the mini pieces. You did the little square ones.
Yeah, they look pretty good.
Yeah. And also, if you're not enjoying like what you painted, just step away from it. Because if you just look at the painting straight after you painted them, like you're still involved in the emotions of painting it. Whereas like you said you really like them now. So it's sometimes there's letting a painting rest, go and do something else, go and paint another thing, and then when you come back to it like the next day or even just like half an hour later, you'd be surprised that there's different things you start seeing in your own work, which is really, really enjoyable.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much for being so brave to come on this live stream and giving abstract a go. Are you glad you did it? You're totally allowed to be honest.
Yeah, I did. I'm really glad I did it.
Do you think you would do it again?
Yeah, I think I would.
It's definitely. Okay. You don't.
Yes, sort of, maybe. Yeah, I think I would, because it's good to do. I really like doing this to get like ideas of what, like colour schemes and stuff. It's really good.
No, I think they're really, really. I really like these, the movements in this. How do you think this will like help in your normal, very refined, controlled way of painting?
I think it'll help you like loosen up a bit and sort of relax into it a lot more and not panic so much. Because
I find like I can do completely loose like this, and I want to be closer to this but more controlled with like my flowers and stuff, and I find that balance really hard. Because as soon as I have a photo, I'm trying to be loose, but I have a photo so I get really bogged down with details. So getting that balance is a really, really interesting journey, and I guess that's how we find our own styles, isn't it? So thank you so much for coming to this live stream. Thank you to my super mod Eve. You can find the links to Dan's channel and shop and all the social media in the description, and you can also find Eve's wonderful channel on the description as well. If there's no more question, then I think it's dinner time for us. We have Japanese curry to eat, so we will bid you goodbye.
Yes. Yeah. It's been really good fun. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much for being here. It's been really good fun to do like a live stream with somebody else. So especially like since I've been coughing, like you've been like amazing at taking over. So thank you so much for just like showing up to this live stream. And thank you, Eve, as always. You're amazing. And I will do another live stream on this Thursday, as long as my cough doesn't get any worse, because I won't have Dan as my backup in talking, which will be about the June haul. So all the art supplies that I bought, plus like stuff that Dan's very kindly gifted me. When are you next doing your live stream?
I'm planning maybe Friday.
Okay.
See, because it's gonna get really, really hot.
You're gonna stay indoors and just hibernate.
I might die.
So he might be doing a live stream on Friday. You always update us on your Twitter, don't you? And your Instagram. Yeah, which I've left a link to in the description down below. So if you follow his social media account, then you are always up to date, because you don't have a set date.
No, it's just whenever I've got time to stream.
So it's a really good idea to follow him on either Twitter or Instagram, so you always stay up to date with when he's going to be doing his live stream. Thank you so much, and we will see you later.
Bye.
Bye.